The planet Alon 7 was supposed to be a routine survey stop. 1 week of atmospheric testing, mineral sampling, and cataloging native life, then back to the cruiser and onto the next dust ball. At least, that's what Corporal Elias Dorn had expected when he was assigned the mission. What he hadn't expected was her. She wasn't in the initial scans. No life signatures had shown up, no civilization markers. But 3 days into the mission, while setting up a beacon by a strange, spiraling crystal formation, he'd seen movement. And then her. She was humanoid, but only just. Pale lavender skin, faint bioluminescent lines glowing along her collarbone and neck. Her eyes were large, silver, with vertical pupils. Hair like spun starlight fell over her shoulders, glowing faintly under Alon's twin suns. And she was watching him. He didn't raise his weapon. Something in her posture, curious, not hostile, made him lower it instead. She spoke first, her voice like water running over glass. "Are you edible?" He blinked. What?" She tilted her head, eyes narrowing in thought. "You are flesh."
"Meat."
"But I see no predators hunt you. So either you are poisonous or very dangerous." "I'm not food," Elias managed. She frowned slightly, then nodded as if that answered some private question. "Good. I have no taste for soft things anyway." He should have reported her to command. He knew that. But instead, Elias offered her some dried rations, and she took them with wide-eyed wonder. 1 hour turned into 2, then 4. Then evening came, and she asked if he had shelter. By the next day, she had a name, Thalra, and a quiet place near his research tent. She said her kind had retreated underground after the last solar flare centuries ago. She was the last scout, the last daughter, maybe the last of them all. And somehow, she decided Elias was interesting. Over the next 5 days, they grew into a rhythm. Elias did his testing. Thalra followed him, asking questions, endless questions. Why do humans wear clothes? Is your dermis weak? What is sarcasm? You said one thing, but your tone was reverse. Your kneecaps make that noise always? Is it a mating signal? He laughed more with her than he had in months. There was no malice in her questions, just genuine wonder, like a child seeing fire for the first time. But then came day 7. It was early morning. Elias had just finished dressing, pulling on his standard-issue flight pants, when Thalra entered the tent unannounced, something she did often. "I have a question," she said solemnly. He turned, still fastening his belt.
"Sure."
She stepped forward, eyes narrowing as she examined him. "Yesterday, when I touched your forearm, something moved." Elias froze. "Moved?" "Yes," she said. "Not your arm. Lower. Here." She pointed somewhere dangerously south of his belt. Elias' face went crimson. "I thought perhaps an organ had dislodged. Or inflation due to heat? But I tested again while you were asleep. It happened again." Wait, what? You touched me there in my sleep?" She nodded, completely unashamed. "It reacted. It grew."
He sputtered.
"Thalra, that's private." "But why?" she asked, stepping closer. "It does not seem dangerous. Only reactive. Like a defense puff. Some creatures do that to appear larger." Elias covered his face with one hand. "It's not a defense puff. It's a biological response to, stimulation." She blinked. "Is that a human term for mating readiness?" Oh God. For a moment, she seemed to study his panic with curiosity. Then she gently placed a hand on his chest. "You are distressed. I did not intend to offend." Elias sighed, slowly lowering his hand. "I know. You just don't have boundaries the same way humans do." Boundaries, she echoed, tasting the word. Explain. Some parts of the body are sensitive, tied to emotion, to intimacy. It's not about shame. It's about choice. She went silent, considering. I see. That was not something I was taught. We have no males. Our reproduction was clinical.
He softened.
You said you were the last, right? Thalra nodded. They placed the memory of our kind in me, but not the closeness, not the laughter. She looked up, eyes wide. You gave me both. That night, she didn't ask to share the tent. She simply lay beside him, close but respectful, not touching. Elias, despite everything, didn't push her away. Something had changed. It wasn't about curiosity anymore.
It was trust.
Day 8 should have been departure. His mission was complete. But when the cruiser hailed him, he delayed. When they asked why, he said atmospheric interference. He had 48 more hours before the orbital window closed. They spent those 2 days exploring the canyon together. Thalra showed him the ruins of her kind, crystal structures humming with dead energy, ancient murals of alien families holding glowing infants. I don't want to be the last, she said softly. You're not, Elias replied. That evening, Thalra reached for his hand. He didn't flinch. Her voice trembled. May I try something human? He swallowed. Depends what you mean. She leaned forward and touched her forehead gently to his.
This.
I saw it in your dreams. You've been in my dreams too? I didn't mean to. Your mind is loud, but warm. He smiled. That's actually kind of sweet. Then she said it again, quietly, innocently. Does your breeding tool still react when I touch it? He burst out laughing. She tilted her head. Was that the wrong term? No, he managed through tears. It's just perfect. The cruiser came on day 10. He stood at the ramp, duffel slung over one shoulder. She stood by the rocks, watching, not speaking. I could take you, he said finally. They would test me, she replied. Cut and question. I am not ready. He nodded. Then I'll come back. You swear? I do. She smiled. Then I will wait. 6 months later, the cruiser landed again. This time, the ship didn't leave with just Elias. It left with a lavender-skinned woman in a cloak of starlight, her hand in his, eyes bright with discovery. She had questions still. So many questions. But she no longer asked, why does it do that? Now she said softly, teach me more, human.